Rapture this week.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet they had a lovely discussion.
Yeah, I know someone who's in college who had to like drop physics altogether because their teacher has like no idea what's going on with the Zoom.
All right, our meeting is now streaming on Facebook. So, hello, Internet.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to our virtual screening of Much Ado About Nothing. We're going to introduce our characters and who we are and what we're playing first. So we're going to start with Don Pedro. Don Pedro, announce yourself.
I am Don Pedro, Prince of Aragon. My friends call me Dominique. Nice to meet you.
Don John, can you announce yourself?
I'm Don John, and I'm a bastard.
Here's my brother.
Claudio.
I'm Claudio. Hello.
Benedict.
I am Benedict.
Leonardo.
I am Leonato, the governor of Messina.
Antonio.
I'm Antonio.
Are you anything else, Antonio?
I'm Leonardo's brother.
Okay. Balthazar. We should have someone playing Balthazar. I'll look it up in a little bit. Conrad.
I'm Conrad.
Baraccio.
I'm Baraccio, follower of Don John.
Friar Francis.
I'm Friar Francis.
I will be filling in for a friend of ours who couldn't make it tonight as Dogberry, the constable. Vergus is also a friend of Dogberry, and I believe that Trey, you're playing.
Yes, I'm Vergus.
Okay, all right. Our sexton is who?
I'm Sexton, and that's
Okay.
the judge.
All right. I am the boy and just about every other messenger as well in this play. Hero is
Of course.
my lovely wife and my personal hero.
What do you want?
Beatrice is.
That's me. I'm Danny. I am playing Beatrice. I am the niece of Leonato and the cousin of Hero and a badass bee.
You also have like the hardest lines.
Word.
I'm prepared.
Margaret.
I'm Margaret. I'm also a watchman, so good to see you.
Ursula.
I'm Ursula. I'm also a watchman.
Excellent.
Not very good at our jobs.
No.
Better at your job than I am at mine. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start. Can you look at the cast list for me and remind me who Balthazar?
Uh-huh.
We're going to start Act 1, Scene 1. We are before Leonato's house. Enter Leonato, Hero, Beatrice, and a messenger.
I learn in this letter that Don Peter of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very nearby this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
Oh, but few of any sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the architect brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Peter hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine named Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, indeed doing the figure of a lamb, the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation than you must expect of me to tell you now.
He hath an uncle here in Messina will be very much glad of it.
I've already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in him, even so much that joy could not show itself modest enough without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break out into tears?
In great measure.
A kind overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed. How much better it is to weep at joy than to joy at weeping.
I pray you, is Senor Montanto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned and most pleasant as ever he was.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the flight. And my uncle's fool, reading the challenge, subscribed for Cupid and challenged him at the bird bolt. I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much. But he'll meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had musty victual, and he had much hope to eat it. He is a very valiant trenchman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady? But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, and a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man, but for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with 1. So that if he have wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for a difference between himself and his horse. For it is all the wealth that he hath left to be known a reasonable creature, who is his companion now. He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is it possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith, but as the fashion of his hat, it ever changes with the next block.
I see. Lady, the gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squarer now that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most right in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio if he hath caught the Benedict. It will cost him £1,000 ere he are cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You will never run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached. Enter Don Pedro, Don John, Claudio, Benedict, and Balthazar.
Good Signor Leonato, are you come to meet your trouble? The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides, and happiness takes his leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her mother hath many times told me so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked her?
Signor Benedict, no, for then were you a child.
You have it full, Benedict. We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Truly the lady fathers herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonardo be her father, then she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain? Are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she has such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat? But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness for women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood I'm of your humor for that. I'd rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loved me.
Will God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall escape predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse as 'twere such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer, but keep your way, God's name, I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
That is the sum of all, Leonato, Signor Claudio, and Signor Benedict. My dear friend Leonato hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at the least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome, my lord, being reconciled to the prince, your brother. I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please at your grace, lead on.
Your hand, Leonato, we will go together.
Exeunt all except Benedict and Claudio.
Benedict, didst thou know the daughter of Signor Leonardo?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me as an honest man should do for my simple true judgment, or would you have me speak after my custom as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee speak in sober judgment.
Why, I faith methinks she's too flow for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation can I afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome, and being no other than, but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her for that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yeah, and a case to put it in too. But speak you this with a sad brow, or do you play the flouting jack to tell us Cupid is good hair finder and Vulcan a rare carpenter? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in the song?
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fury exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is it come to this? In faith hath not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Go I to faith, and thou wilt need thrust thy neck into a yoke. Wear the print of it and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro is returned to seek you.
Don Pedro re-enters.
What secret hath held you here that you follow not to Leonato's?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
You hear, Count Claudio, I can be secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so, but on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance. He is in love with who? Now, that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonardo's short daughter.
If this were so it were uttered.
Like the old tale, my lord, it is not so, nor 'twas not so, but indeed, God forbid, it should be so.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen. If you love her, for the lady is very sweet. I'm sorry, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my two faiths and troths, my lord, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a retreat winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me, because I will not do them wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for the which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee ere I die look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I will ever get again with drinking. Pick out my eyes with a ballad maker's pen and hang me up at the door of the brothel house for the sign of blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
Well, if I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me, and he that hits me, let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
Well, the savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict bear it, pluck out the bull's horns and set them on my forehead, and let me be vilely painted, and in such great letters as they write, here is good horse to hire. Let them signify under my sign, here you may see Benedict, the married man.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Nay, if Cupid had not spent all his quiver in Venice, then wilt quake for this shortly.
Well, I look for an earthquake too then.
I got lost. Oh, well, will you temporize with the hours? In the meantime, good Signor Benedict, repair to Leonato's, commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
Well, I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage, and so I commit you.
To the tuition of God, from my house, if I had it.
The 6th of July, your loving friend, Benedict.
Nay, mock not, mock not. The body of your discourse is sometimes guarded with fragments, and the guards are but slightly basted on neither. You flout old ends any further, examine your conscience, and so I leave you.
He does.
My liege, your highness may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it, but how? And thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonardo any son, my lord?
No child but Hero, she his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord, when you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye, that liked but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking into the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant. In their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying I liked her ere I went to wars.
Thou wilt beat a lover presently, and tire the hearer with the book of words. If thou dost love fair Hero, cherish it. And I will break with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. Was it not to this end that thou begast to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love, that no loves grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have solved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is a necessity. Look what will serve is fit, 'tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have revelling tonight. I will assume the part in some disguise, and tell fair hero I am Claudio, and in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force, and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after her father will I break, and the conclusion is she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
Exit. Scene 2, a room in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato and Antonio, meeting.
How now, brother? Where is my cousin, your son? Hath he provided this music?
He is very busy about it. But brother, I can tell you strange news that you have not dreamed about.
Are they good?
As the event stamps them, but they have a good cover. They show well outward. The prince and Count Claudio walking in a thick peached alley in mine orchard were thus much overheard by a man of mine. The prince discovered to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night in a dance. And if he found her accordant, he meant to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
Hath the fellow any wit that told you of it?
A good sharp fellow. I will send for him and question him yourself.
No. We will hold it as a dream till it appear itself. But I will acquaint my daughter withal, that she may be the better prepared for an answer. If peradventure this be true, go you and tell her of it. Cousins, you know what you have to do. Oh, I cry you mercy, friend. Go you with me, and I will use your skill. Good cousin, have a care this busy time.
Exit. Scene 3, the same. Enter Don John and Conrad.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not pleasant remedy, at least patient sufferance.
I wonder that thou, being, as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, goes about to apply moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jests. Eat when I have stomach, and wait for no man's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy, and tend to no man's business. Laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humor.
Yeah, but you must not make the full show of this till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath ta'en you newly into his grace. Where it is impossible you should take true root, but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. And it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. In this, though, I cannot be said to be a flattering, honest man. It must not be denied, but I am a plain dwelling villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore, I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had a mouth, I would bite. If I had liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of this discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only.
Braccio enters.
come yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to you unquietness?
Mary, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
A proper squire, and who? And who? Which way looks he?
Mary, on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
A very forward march chick. How come you to this?
Being entertained for a perfumer as I was smoking in a musty room, comes me the prince and Claudio, hand in hand in sad conference. I whipped me behind the arras, and there heard it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him in any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will to assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. This cheer is greater than I am subdued. Would the cook wear of my mind? Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 1. A hall in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato, Antonio, Hero, Beatrice, and others.
Laura, your mic's not on.
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I can never see him, but I am heartburnt after an hour.
He is a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were remain just in the midway between him and Benedict. The one is too like an image and says nothing, and the other too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then half Signor Benedict's tongue in Count John's mouth, and half Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedict's face.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle, and money enough in his purse, such a man would win any woman in the world, if he could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending thine way, for it is said God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed he sends none.
So by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just if he send me no husband, for the which blessing I'm at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in woolen.
You may light on a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore, I will even take 6 pence in earnest of the bare ward, and leave his apes into hell.
Well then, go you into hell?
No, but to the gate, and there will the devil meet me, like an old cuckold, with horns on his head, and say, get you to heaven, Beatrice. Get you to heaven. Here's no place for you maids. So deliver I up my apes in a way to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there live we merry as the day is long.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
Yes, Faith, it is my cousin's duty to make curtsy and say, Father, has it pleased you? But yet for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another curtsy and say, Father, as it pleases me.
Well, niece, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God makes men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust? To make an account of her life to a clod of a wayward man? No, Uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brothers, and truly I hold it sin to match in my kindred.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin. If you be not wooed in good time, if the prince be too important, tell him there's a measure in everything, and so dance out the enter. For hear me, hero, a wooing, wedding, and repenting is as a Scotch jig a measure, and sink pace. The first suit a hot and hasty like a Scottish jig, and full as fantastic. The wedding, mannerly, modest, as a measure, full of state and ancientry. And then comes repentance, and with his bad legs fall into the croak pace faster and faster, till he sink into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight.
The revelers are entering, brother. Make good room.
All put on their masks. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedict, Balthazar, Don John, Baraccio, Margaret, Ursula, and others. Unmasked. All masked.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I am yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
With me in your company.
I may say so when I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor. For God defend the lute should be like the case.
My visor is Philemon's roof. Within the house is Jove.
Why then your visor should be thatched?
Speak low if you speak love.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would not I for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
Oh, I love you. The better the hearers may cry amen.
God match me a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
I know you well enough. You are Sir Antonio.
At a word, I am not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit him.
You could never do him so ill well unless you were the very man. Here's his dry hand up and down. You are he. You are he.
At a word, I am not.
Come, come. Do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to, mum, you are he. Graces will appear, and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful, and that I had my good wit out of the 100 merry tales. Well, this was Sir Benedict that said so.
What's he?
I am sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he ever make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester, a very dull fool. Only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him, and the condemnation is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him. I am sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do! He'll but break a comparison or two on me, which, peradventure not marked or not laughed at, strikes him into melancholy. And then there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool will eat no supper that night. We must follow the leaders.
In every good thing.
Now, if they lead to any ill, I will leave them at the next turning.
Yes, then exalt all except John, Borachio, and Claudio.
Oh, Don John, your audio.
Pedro.
Sure, my brother is amorous on Hero, and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not Signor Benedict?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you were very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero, I pray you. Dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too, and he swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us banquet.
Exit Don John and Borachio.
Thus I answer in the name of Benedict, but hear these ill news in the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so. The prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office of affairs and love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch, against whose charms faith melleth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, Hero.
Count Claudio?
Yeah, the same.
Come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow about your own business, County. What fashion will you wear the garland of around your neck, like the usurer's chain, or under your arm like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your Hero.
I wish him joy of her.
Why, that's spoken like an honest drovier. So they sell bullocks. But do you think the prince would have served you thus?
I pray thee leave me.
Oh, now you strike like a blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I will leave you.
And he does.
Alas, poor hurt fowl. Now we'll creep into sedges. But my lady Beatrice should know me, and not know me. The Princess Fool. It may be I go under that title because I am merry. Yea, but so I am apt to do myself wrong. I am not reputed. It is the base, though bitter, disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person, and so gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Don Pedro enters.
Now, Signor, where's the Count? Did you see him?
Troth, my lord, I have played the part of Lady Fame. I found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace had got the goodwill of this young lady, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland as being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
Well, the flat transgression of a schoolboy who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a trust a transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss, the rod had been made. and the garland too. For the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing and restore them to its owner.
Well, if their singing answer your saying, by my faith, you say honestly.
The Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with you, with her, told her she's much wronged by you.
Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak, but one with green leaf on it, would have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, that I was duller than a great thaw, huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me, that I stood like a man at mark with the whole army shooting at me. She speaks poniards, and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there would no living near her. She would infect the North Star. I would not marry her, though. She were endowed with all that Adam bad left him before he transgressed. Well, she would have made Hercules have turned spit, yea, and have cleft his club to make it fire too. Come, talk not of her. You shall find her in the infernal eight in good apparel. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary, and people sin upon purpose because they would go thither so. Indeed, all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
Look, here she comes.
Oh.
Claudio, Beatrice, Hero, and Leonato enter.
Will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go to the slightest errand now to the antipodes that you can devise to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpicker now from the furthest inch of Asia, bring you to the length of Prester John's foot, fetch you a hair off the great cham's beard, do you any embassage to the pygmies, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. You have no employment for me?
I have none, but to desire your good company.
Oh, God. Sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
He exits.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord. He lent it to me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for his single one, marry once before he won it off me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, my lord, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I had caught Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Why, how now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then, sick?
Neither, my lord.
The count is neither sad nor sick, nor merry nor well. But civil count civil is an orange and something of that jealous complexion.
I faith, lady, I think your brazen to be true, though I'll be sworn, if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair Hero is won. I have broke with her father, and his goodwill obtained it. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortune. His grace hath made the match, and a grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin! Or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss and let it not him speak neither.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord, I thank it, poor fool. It keeps on the windy side of care. My tells him in his ear that he's in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good Lord, for alliance! Thus goes every one to the world but I. And I am sunburnt. I may sit in a corner and cry, hey-ho, for a husband.
Oh, Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Had their grace never a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands if a maid could come by them.
Will you have me, my lady?
No, my lord, unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace, pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord, my mother cried. But then there was your star dance, and under that I was born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry your mercy, uncle, by your grace's pardon.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then. For I've heard my daughter say she hath often dreamed of unhappiness and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh, Lord. My lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
County Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence a just 7 night, and a time too brief, too, to have all things answer my mind.
Come, you shake the head at so long a breathing, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will in the interim undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain to have a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it, if you 3 will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of a noble strain, of approved valor and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedict, and I, with your 2 helps, will so practice on Benedict that, in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me, and I will tell you my drift.
They exit. Scene 2, the same hall. Enter Don John and Borachio.
It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonardo.
Borachio, your
Mic is off.
Is my mic off?
No, John, you're good. It's Borachio.
Yea, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. I am sick in displeasure to him. And whatever comes artward, his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honesty, my lord. but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in the favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember.
I can at any unseasonable instant of the night appoint her to look out at her lady's chamber window.
What life is in that? To be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince your brother, spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation do you mightily hold up to a contaminated stale such a one as Hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and kill Leonato. Look you for any other issue?
Only to despite them, I will endeavor anything.
Go then, find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and the Count Claudio alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. Intend a kind of zeal both to the prince and Claudio, as in love of your brother's honor, who hath made this match, and his friend's reputation, who is thus like to be cozened with the semblance of a maid, that you have discovered thus. They will scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. Hear me call Margaret Hero, hear Margaret term me Claudio, and bring them to see this very night before the intended wedding. For in the meantime, I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent, and there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty, the jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can. I will put it in practice. Be cunning in working this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I will presently go learn their day of marriage.
They exit. Scene 3, Leonato's orchard. Enter Benedict.
Boy,
Enter a boy. Signor?
in my chamber window lies a book. Bring it hither to me in the orchard.
I'm here already, sir.
I know that, but I would have thee hence and here again.
The boy exits.
I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music with him but the drum and the fife, and now had he rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I have known when he would have walked 10 mile afoot to see a good armor, and now will he lie 10 nights awake, carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier, and now he has turned orthography. His words are the very fantastical banquet, just so many strange dishes. May I be so converted and see with these eyes. I cannot tell, I think not, I will not be sworn by my love may transform me to an oyster. But I'll take my oath on it. Till he have made an oyster of me, he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, but I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's certain, wise, or I'll none, virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her, fair, or I'll never look on her, mild, or come not near me, noble, or not I for an angle, of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her pair shall be of what color it pleases God. Ha! The prince and miss your love. I will hide me in the arbor.
and withdraws. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, and Leonardo.
Come, shall we hear this music?
Yea, my good lord, how still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See you where Benedict hath hid himself?
Oh, very well, my lord. The music ended. We'll fit the kid fox with a pennyworth.
Enter Balthazar with music.
Come, Balthazar, we'll hear that song again.
Oh my good lord, tax not so bad a voice to slander music any more than once.
It is the witness still of excellency, to put a strange face on his own perfection. I pray thee sing, and let me woo no more.
Oh, because you talk of wooing, I will sing. Since many a wooer doth commence his suit to her he thinks not worthy, yet he woos, yet will he swear he loves.
Nay, pray thee come, or if thou wilt hold longer argument, do it in notes.
Note this before my notes. There's not a note of mine that's not worth the noting.
Why, these are very crotchets that he speaks. Notes, notes, forsooth, and nothing.
Now, divine heir, now is his soul ravished. Is it not strange that sheep's guts should hale souls out of men's bodies? Well, a horn for my money when all is done.
Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men were ever deceivers ever, 1 foot in sea and on 1 on shore. To one thing constant never, then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds. Nonny. Sing no more ditties, sing no more. Of dumps so dull and heavy, the fraud of men was ever so, since summer first was leafy, then sigh not so. And I don't know what that means.
By my troth, a good song.
And an ill, my lord.
No, Faith, thou singest well enough for a shift.
Well, and he had been a dog that should have howled thus. They could have hanged him. But I pray God his bad voice bode no mischief. I had as lief have heard the night raven. Come, what a plague could have come after it.
Yea, Mary, dost thou hear Balthazar? I pray thee guess us some excellent music, for tomorrow night we would have it at the Lady Hero's chamber window.
Oh, the best I can, my lord.
Do so, farewell. Come hither,
Balthazar.
Leonardo. What was it you told me of today, that your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedict?
Oh, stalk on, the foul sits. I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither. But most wonderful that she should dote on Signor Benedict, whom she hath in all outward behavior seemed ever to abhor.
Is it possible? Sits the wind in that corner?
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith like enough.
Oh God, counterfeit? There was never counterfeit of passions came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why? What effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well, this fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sit you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How, I pray you? You amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedict.
I should think this a gull, but that the white-bearded fellow speaks it. Knavery cannot sure hide himself with such reverence.
He hath taken the infection, hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed, so your daughter says. Shall I, says she, that have so often countered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This says she now when she is beginning to write to him. For she'll be up 20 times a night, and there she will sit in her smock till she hath writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Oops. Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
Oh, when she had writ it and was reading it over, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheet.
That.
Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence, railed at herself that she should be so immodest to write one that she knew would flout her. I measure him, says she, by my own spirit, for I should flout him if he writ to me. Yea, though I love him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays and curses. Oh, sweet Benedict, God give me patience.
She doth indeed, my daughter says so. And the ecstasy hath so much overborne her that my daughter is sometimes afeared she will do a desperate outrage to herself. It is very true.
It were good that Benedict knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would make but a sport of it and torment the poor lady even worse.
And he should. It were an alms to hang him. She's an excellent, sweet lady, and, out of all suspicion, she is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
In everything except loving Benedict.
Oh, my lord, wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body, we have 10 proofs to 1 that blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her, as I have just cause, being her uncle and her guardian.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have daffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you tell Benedict of it and hear what he will say.
Were it good, think you?
Hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he love her not, and she will die ere she make her love known, and she will die if he woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well. If she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. For the man, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God, and in my mind, very wise.
He doth indeed show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be rather valiant.
As Hector, I assure you, and in the managing of quarrels, you may say he is wise, for either he avoids them with great discretion, or undertakes them with a most Christian-like fear.
If he do fear God and must necessarily keep peace, if he break the peace, he ought to enter into a quarrel with fear and trembling.
And so will he do, for the man doth fear God, howsoever it seems not in him by some large jest he will make. Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go see Benedict and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedict well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote upon her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewomen carry. The sport will be, when they hold one an opinion of another's dotage, and no such matter. That's the scene that I would see. which will be merely a dumb show. Let us send her to call him in to dinner.
Exit Don Pedro, Claudio, and Leonardo. Benedict coming
This
forward.
can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me? Why, it must be requited. I hear now I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she will rather die than give any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that hear their detractions and can put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis truth. I can bear them witness. And virtuous, well, 'tis so, I cannot reprove it. And wise, but for loving me, on my troth, is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken on me, because I have railed so long against marriage, but doth not the appetite alter? A man's love the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe a man from the career of his humor? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Oh, here comes Beatrice. By this day, she is a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took more pains for those thanks that you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
Oh, you take pleasure then in the message?
Yea, just as much as you may take upon a knife's point and choke a dowel withal. You have no stomach, senor. Very well.
Ha! Against my will, I am set to bid you come to dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That's as much as to say any pains that I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not take pity of her, I'm a villain. If I do not love her, I'm a Jew. I will go get her picture.
He exits. Act 3, Scene 1, Leonardo's Orchard. Enter Hero, Margaret, and Ursula.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice, proposing with the Prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear, and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us, and bid her steal into the bleak bower, where honeysuckles ripen by the sun. Forbid the sun to enter, like favorite, make proud by princes that advance their pride against that power that bred it. And there she will hide her, to listen our propose. This is thy office. Bear thee well in it, and leave us alone.
I'll make her come. I'll warrant you presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedict. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedict is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay.
Enter Beatrice behind.
Now begin. Her love for Beatrice, like a lapwing, runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasance angling is to see the fish cut with her golden oars the silver stream and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So we for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the woodbine coverture, for you not my part of the dialogue?
Then go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait that we lay for it.
They approach the bower.
No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
That Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new betrothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedict, to wish him wrestle with affection, and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full of fortune a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may he yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. Cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endured.
Sure, I think so. And therefore, certainly, it were not good. She knew his love, lest she'll make sport of it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw man, how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair face, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If black, why nature, drawing of an antique, made a foul blot. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, and a gait very vilely cut. If speaking, why a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives the truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure. Such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd, and from all fashions, as Beatrice is, cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she should mock me into the air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore let Benedict, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. It were a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, rather I will go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such wrong. She cannot be much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Sir Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy, always expected, my dear Claudio.
I pray you be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Sir Benedict, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor, goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day, tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have the council which is the best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's limed. I warrant you, we have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
Hero and Ursula exit.
What? Fire is in my ears. Can this be true? Stand I condemn me for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such, and Benedict, love on, I will requite thee. Taming my wild heart to thy loving hand, if thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reporting thee.
She exits. Scene 2, a room in Leonato's house. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedict, and Leonato.
You're
Don Pedro, your mic is on.
Off.
Off.
Yeah, there we go.
My bad. I do but state your marriage be consummate. And then I go toward Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot, he is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue is a clapper. For what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
So say I. Methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Hang him, truant! There's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have a toothache.
Draw it.
Hang it.
You must hang it first and then draw it afterwards.
What? Sigh for a toothache?
Where is but a humor or a worm?
Well, everyone can master a grief, but he that has it.
Yet say I, he is in love.
There is no appearance of fancy in him, unless it be a fancy that he hath to strange disguises, as to be a Dutchman today, a Frenchman tomorrow, or in the shape of two countries at once, as a German from the waist downwards in all slops, and a Spaniard from the hip upwards, no doublet. Unless he have a fancy to this foolery, it appears he hath. He is no fool for fancy, as you would have it appear he is.
If he be not in love with some woman, there is no believing old signs. A bush is his hat o' mornings, what should that bode?
Hath any man seen him at the barber's?
No, but the barber's man hath been seen with him, and the old ornament of his cheek hath already stuffed tennis balls.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did by loss. Oh, that's not my line.
But I agree, Don Pedro. He looks younger than he did by the loss of a beard.
Pivot. Can you
What?
Yeah. That's as much to say the sweet youth love.
The greatest note of it is his melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
Yea, or paint himself, for the which I hear what they say of him.
Nay, but his jesting spirit, which is now crept into a lute string and is now governed by stops.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude. Conclude, he is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That would I know too. I warrant one that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions, and in despite of all, dies for him.
She shall be buried with her face upwards.
Yet this is no charm for the toothache. Old Senor, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak of you, or to you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
Exit
For my
Benedict
life.
and Leonardo.
For my life, to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
Enter Don John.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Good den, brother.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you. Yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not that, which he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me by that I know will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath hoped to effect your ensuing marriage. Surety suit, ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened. For she has been too long of talking of. The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonardo's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you of a worse title, and I would fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me tonight. You shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
Oh no.
I will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight, why I should not marry her tomorrow in the congregation, where I shall wed, there I shall shame her.
And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no farther till you are my witness. Bear it coldly, but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
O day untowardly turned.
O mischief strangely thwarting.
A plague right where prevented. So you will say when you have seen the sequel.
They exit. Scene 3, a street. Enter Dogberry and Vergus with the watch. Are you good men and true?
Yea, or else it would pity, but thy should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that there were a punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable, or desertless man to be constable?
Hugh Oatcake, sir, or George Seacole, for they can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name, to be a well-favored man. Is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature. Our second watchman?
Oh, I didn't know I had a name.
Evidently you do.
Both with Master Constable.
You have. I knew it would be your answer. Well, for your favor, sir, why, give God thanks, and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need of such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrom men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How if he will not stand?
Why, then take no note of him. But let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of the knave.
If he will not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and they that are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable, and not to be endured.
Well, we'd rather sleep than talk. We know what belongs to a watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you are to call at all the alehouses and bid those that are drunk get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Why, then let them alone till they are sober. If they make you not then the better the answer, you may say that they are not the men you were that you took them for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him, by virtue of your office, to be no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them, why, the more is for your honesty.
If we know him
to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think they that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is, and to steal out of his company.
You have been always called a merciful man, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, but much more a man who hath any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How if the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then depart in peace, and let the child wake her with the crying. For the ewe that will not bear her lamb, when it bays, will never answer a calf when he bleeds.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of the charge. You, constable, are to present your prince to the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you may stay him.
Nay, by your lady, that I think not.
5 shillings to 1 on it, with any man that knows the statutes, he may stay him. Marry, not without the prince be willing. For indeed the watch ought to offend no man, and it is an offense to stay a man against his will.
By your lady, I think it be so.
Well, masters, good night. And there be any matter of weight chances, shall call upon me. Keep your fellows' counsel, and your own, and good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, masters, we hear our charge. Let us go, sit here upon the church bench till 2, and then all to bed.
One more word, honest neighbors. I pray you, watch about Senor Leonardo's door. For the wedding, being there tomorrow, there is a great coil tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant, I beseech you.
Exit Dogberry and Burgess. Enter Baraccio and Conrad.
What, Conrad?
Peace. Sits not.
Conrad, I say.
Here, man, I am at thy elbow.
Mass, and my elbow itched. I thought there would a scab follow.
I will owe thee an answer for that. And now, forward with thy tale.
Stand thee close then under this penthouse, for it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason, masters, yet stand close.
Therefore, know I have heard of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
Thou shouldn't rather ask if it were possible any villainy should be so rich, for when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest that the fashion of a doublet or a hat or a cloak is nothing to a man.
Yes, it is apparel.
I mean, the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
Tush, I may as well say the fool's the fool. But seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
First watchman.
Oh, sorry. I'm lost.
I know that deformed.
Go ahead. I know that deformed has been a vile thief this 7 year. It goes up and down like gentlemen. I remember his name.
Didst thou not hear somebody?
No, 'twas the vein on a house.
Seest thou not, I say, what a deformed thief this fashion is? How giddily it turns about all the hot bloods between 14 and 5:30, sometimes fashioning them like Pharaoh's soldiers in the reeking painting, sometime like God Bell's priests in the old church window, sometime like the shaven Hercules in the smirched, worm-eaten tapestry, where his codpiece seems as massy as his club?
All this I see, and I see that the fashion wears out more apparel than the man. But art not thou thyself giddy with the fashion too, that thou hast shifted out of thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so, neither, but know that I have tonight wooed Margaret, the Lady Hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leads me out of her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell thee how the prince, Claudio, and my master, planted and placed and possessed by my master Don John, saw afar off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought they Margaret was Hero?
2 of them did, the prince and Claudio. But the devil, my master, knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oath which first possessed them, partly by the dark night which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made, away went Claudio enraged, swore he would meet her as he was appointed next morning at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw overnight and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name, stand.
Call up the right master constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that ever was known in the Commonwealth.
And one deformed is one of them. I know him. Where's the lock?
Masters.
Second.
Oh. Wait.
You'll
what?
make bring deformed forth, I warrant you.
Masters.
Yeah. Never speak. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us.
We would like to prove a goodly commodity being taken up of these men's bills.
A commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, we'll obey you.
They exit. Scene 4, Hero's apartment. Enter Hero, Margaret, and Ursula.
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise,
I will, lady.
and bid her come hither.
Well,
She
Troth,
exits.
Troth, I think your other rubato were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
By my troth, not so good, and I warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tie within excellently. If the hair were a thought browner, and your gown's a most rare fashion, I faith. I saw the Duchess of Milan's gown that they praise so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
By my troth, but a nightgown in respect of yours, cloth of gold and cuts and laced with silver, set with pearls, down sleeves, side sleeves, and skirts, round underbone with a bluish tinsel. But for a fine, quaint, graceful, and excellent fashion, yours is worth 10 of it.
God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy.
Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee, art not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable in a beggar? Is not your lord honorable without marriage? I think you have me say, saving your reverence, a husband, and bad thinking do not rest true speaking. I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think. And it be the right husband and the right wife, otherwise 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my lady Beatrice, else here she comes.
Beatrice enters.
Good morrow, coz.
Well, good morrow, sweet hero.
Why, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I am all out of other tunes, methinks.
Collapse into the light of love, that goes without a burden. Do you sing it, and I'll dance it.
Ye light of love with your heels, then. If your husband have stables enough, you'll see he shall lack no barns.
Oh, illegitimate construction. I scorn that with my heels.
'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you're ready. But my troth, I am exceedingly ill, hi-ho.
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband.
But the letter that begins them all, H.
Well, and you do not be turned Turk. There's no more Stalin by the star.
What means the fool, trow?
Nothing, but God send everyone their heart's desire.
These gloves the Count sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin, I cannot smell.
Made and stuffed. There's goodly catching a cold.
Oh, God help me, God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap, by my troth. I am sick.
Get you some of that distilled Cardis Benedict. It's the only thing for a qualm.
There thou prickest her with a thistle.
Benedictus! Why, Benedictus, you have some moral in this, Benedictus!
Moral? No, by my troth, I have no moral meaning. I mean plain holy thistle. You may think perchance that I think you are in love. Nay, by lady, I am not such a fool to think what I list, nor list to not to think what I can, nor indeed I cannot think, if I would think my heart out of thinking that you are in love, and that you will be in love, or that you can be in love. Yet Benedict was such another, and now he is a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not. But methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is this that thy tongue keeps?
It's not a false gallop.
Ursula reiterates.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Signor Benedict, Don John, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Help me to dress, good cuz, good Meg, good Ursula.
They exit. Scene 5, another room in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato with Dogberry and Vergus.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for you see, it is a busy time with me.
Marry, this it is, sir.
Yes, in truth it is, sir.
What is it, my good friends?
Oh, good man Vergus, sir, speaks a little of the matter. An old sir, and his wits are not so blunt as God help, I would desire they were, but in faith, honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God I am as honest as any man living. That is an old man and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous, palabrous neighbor Vergus.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
Oh, it please your worship to say so, but we are the poor duke's officers. But truly, for my own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I could find it in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
All thy tediousness on me, ah?
Yea, and 'twere 1,000 pounds more than 'tis, for I hear as good exclamation on your worship as of any man in the city. And though I be but a poor man, I'm glad to hear it.
And so am I.
I would fain know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, find a couple of as errant knaves as any in Messina.
A good old man, sir. He will be talking as they say. When the age is in, the wit is out. God help us, it is the world to see. Well, said I, faith, neighbor Vergus, well, God's a good man, and 2 men ride of a horse, one must ride behind, an honest soul and faith, sir. By my troth he is, as ever broke bread. But God is to be worshipped. All men are not alike. Alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, have indeed comprehended 2 auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
It shall be suffrages.
Drink some wine ere you go. Fare you well.
Enters a messenger. Myself. My lord, they say for you to give your daughters to her husband.
I'll wait upon them. I am ready.
Leonato and the messenger, my previous self, exit, leaving Dogberry and Vergus. Go, good partner, go, get you to Francis Seacole. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the gale. We are now to examination these men.
We must do it wisely.
We will spare for no wit, I warrant you. Here's that shall drive some of them to a non-commons. Only get the learned writer to set down our excommunication and meet me at the gale. They exit. I'm going to take a second here for our internet audience, but for our cast. We have now reached the end of Act 3. I said in the chat that we would take a 10-minute break between Act 3 and 4 if you would like. Would we like to take our 10-minute break now?
I'd like to.
Sure.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
Make sure to mute the mics. Lovely internet audience. It is now about 9:55. We shall endeavor to return to you at 10:55.
Okay, good. Set a timer for
55.
I think you mean 10:05.
There's a bit more Hogberry in me than I intend to
To be exact.
10:05.
For those of you wondering, I'm the
My
designated
cup
driver.
runneth dry.
Yeah, my cup runneth dry too.
I still have a full box.
Box.
God, y'all, I've killed like 3 bottles of wine. I tell you.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my second pitcher of ice water.
Wow, I have regular water.
Yeah.
I'm leaving the stream on, everyone, just so you know, so that way no one has to.
Can you do
This
Shakespeare?
is
That's
so
fine.
fun, though. This is so fun. We need to
Yeah.
do this again.
Beatrice,
Yeah.
you're like the
Oh,
best.
yeah, no, definitely.
We need to
Absolutely.
pick another one. And
the
just
best.
like,
Yes.
Pericles. We need to
I killed a bottle of rosé. I killed a bottle of sangria. Like,
You're living.
Yeah.
oh my God. Now I've got Castillo del Diablo.
That's
Oh.
very, yeah.
I was at the Food King a few months ago, and I checked out with that Castillo de Diablo. And the cashier was like, "Are you sure you want this? It's got a, Diablo, devil."
It's so good, though.
And fuck, my order came up to 66.66. So
You're like, I guess it's destiny, because bring that. I need to buy this stuff.
the woman bought me an extra something, like
Nice.
mints or something, just so my thing didn't come up to 60.
Oh God, this is so fun. We should do like another comedy. We should do like
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
quite
man.
fond of Twelfth Night. It's my
Yes.
favorite.
Shakespeare hour. We need the drunk Shakespeare hour.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
this is so fun.
Way more than an hour.
It's
Can I-
more than an hour, but yeah.
But we
So
should.
my personal Shakespeare is definitely A Midsummer Night's Dream, and
We should do that.
Absolutely. I
That'd be
would
so
so
good.
do it.
It's not Shakespeare, but we do Into the Woods.
Yeah.
You don't know how bad I needed this. Oh shit.
It's so fun.
Like a mask of some kind.
I have to tell y'all, Beatrice is like one of my all-time favorite.
I am in love with Beatrice.
Oh my God, so am I. I can't believe she turned me down. What the heck, man?
I'm your slave.
Pedro, you're okay.
Oh wait, no, Benedict. Where's the?
I'm just like, I don't even know. Like, what day is this even? Like, I don't even know what day of quarantine.
I woke up this morning and I was like, "We're doing Shakespeare tomorrow." Oh
No, it's today.
Oh, that's today. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh my God, I love y'all. I miss theater so much. You have
Yeah. Directly before, like earlier today, I was like, "Why am I doing this? This is I'm very anxious about this. This is stupid. I'm scared." But now that I'm doing it, it's like, yeah, I'm back in the theater.
yeah.
I miss it so much, y'all. You have no idea. You have no idea.
Laura,
Which is why we're doing.
Hey,
I miss you.
miss
Yeah.
you too. I
Like,
miss
I
you.
seriously, I killed a bottle of rosé. I
For
killed
the
a bottle of
audience, I put
sangria.
a
And
comment
Murderer, most
Any-
foul.
I'm about halfway
I
through.
drank an $8 bottle of peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah.
what is that? Is that even good?
Peanut butter? I don't fucking know.
Like my nuts.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's not good.
So I think some of my friends are still watching, and it's like probably.
It's not good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have a friend
You
who's
know what?
watching. Yeah.
I can't even
I
tell you
don't
how
know.
much I do not care if anyone is watching this.
yeah,
because
no,
I'm
it's
having
Ruined
so much
anybody's
fun.
Reputation.
Like on
All she
Facebook.
said was drunk
Yeah.
Shakespeare several hours.
Several hours.
Yeah.
This is so fun. Oh my God.
Where is it on Facebook anyway?
Okay, I don't know who posted the David Tennant and Catherine Tate.
Me.
It was so good. Nathan and I watched it and it was so good.
I watched it yesterday because I don't like Shakespeare's hard for me, independent of reading the whole entire thing, and I was like, I'm not gonna take the time to do
It
that.
was so good.
Shakespeare
It
was
was so good.
not read.
Oh, good.
It was so good.
Don't read Shakespeare. That's the worst.
Yeah, it's
I
fucking.
was trying to figure out like what the hell is Margaret talking about with like the dawn, the pearl, like anyway.
Yeah.
And
See, the problem is I was an English teacher, so I could sit here and tell you what all this means. And like, honestly, Shakespeare, I can tell you, was like for the peasants. I'm telling you, it's like all of this shit that he's saying is like for the lowest common denominator. He like makes fart jokes, he makes sex jokes. It's like.
So good.
Even, I mean, Beatrice makes a joke about like how even if someone scratched Benedict's face, he would still like it would make him better. Like he looks right now. It's like Beatrice is such a badass. She's such a bitch. It's like
She reminds me of somebody I used to
day and age to be a woman who is a bitch. Yeah.
she's like my favorite character. That's why I was all like, when it's like, who does everyone want to play? And I was like, Katniss. I was like, I volunteer. I was like, I volunteer to play Katniss to be
I
played.
volunteer for tribute.
Yeah, she's like, I just think she's so funny because like she talks about how marriage is like, yeah, you think it's all great, you think it's all high and shit, but then once he gets married, he doesn't feel like he needs to try anymore, and then he's just like, yeah, some fat ass on the couch and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she knows what's up. She knows what's up. You know.
You're on a couch, but that's it.
Hi, baby. Look at my dog. Look at you. I need to look at my dog.
Oh my God, he's so fluffy.
This is Sasha. She's a Great Pyrenees.
I love
Oh, she's tiny then.
Hi, Sasha.
You had to banish your dog because otherwise Emerson would have taken over.
I feel bad for Francesca's.
No, like her two doggies within like 2 weeks of each other.
I know.
Like two like original dogs too.
I couldn't even imagine if anything happened to these two, let alone within like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It makes me so
So,
sad.
what were they sick with, or what happened?
Well,
He
one
has
of them
diabetes. Tortellina
yeah,
does.
one of them has diabetes, and the other one
And
has
septicemia. He has an infection.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
like I
it's
couldn't
been
even
really rough.
imagine that. We have two dogs, and it's like I
And
couldn't
Toffee
even
had
imagine-
some weird tick-borne thing. It was not anywhere near the same thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
They weren't really
During this Corona thing.
Yeah.
going
bad
to a
time.
vet
I mean,
right
just
now is actually
everything.
difficult.
I wonder how Shakespeare would have wrote a play about Corona.
You know,
Well,
they just
look, he wrote King Lear during the fucking Black Plague.
because
That's
that's
true.
true.
King Lear is one of my fucking favorites.
He wrote King Lear during the plague. He was like
Yeah.
quarantined because of the Black Plague. And Shakespeare's like, I'm just gonna write King Lear. Like it's no big deal. Like whatever. And like Isaac.
Back your cheeks.
Baldrick, will you go to the store to get the groceries, and I'm going to stay here and write King Lear?
I would love to
Yeah.
do King Lear.
And like freaking the guy who did like the rules of like gravity and stuff, he was
Yeah.
Isaac Newton. He was like home from school because of the Black Plague, and he's like, oh, I'll just come up with the laws of gravity while I'm sitting home like underneath an apple tree. Like it's cool. Like whatever. Like I mean, like and here I am just staring at Netflix all day, and I'm like, you guys are all bullshit because I can't function.
I'm excited that I got the pantry rearranged, that we keep all our kitchen gadgets in. That was my big accomplishment.
My day today.
I'm rearranging
An hour
the
and a half
spice
taking.
rack.
Doggy.
Devin, are you in sunlight?
Sasha.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, it's about time.
I heard you.
Who's online?
Oh, puppy.
Oh, I see you now. You moved places.
Pastor Devin, we should flash the lights.
Yeah.
Thank you, Five.
Go flash the
Thank
lights.
you, Five.
You five.
Thank you, Five.
Switch.
Oh, my dad's here. Shout out to
There
my
it is.
dad.
Hi, someone's dad.
Jake.
Google.
Jake, you know who Jake is.
This is so
Oh,
fun.
hi,
And I
Jake.
have to say, everybody is doing a wonderful job.
Where
This
is he? He should
so-
be in this. Jake.
It's a great job.
Everybody is doing fantastic. This is so fun.
Huzzah!
Look at Jacob. He's like, these grown-ups are so weird.
No, next time I'm serious. We should do this again. We should pick another comedy.
Okay.
Just like do it again.
While we may want to do another comedy, we have to finish this one first.
Let's do it.
Which one?
We are starting Act 4, Scene 1. We are at a church.
Wait, what's my motivation?
What's my motivation? You're an asshole. That's your motivation. You're
Okay, good. I thought so.
You're a dickhead. That's your motivation.
That explains a
Leonardo.
few things.
Seems to be tilting a glass.
So the rest of the play has to be done in an Australian accent. Is that?
Friar Francis,
How to do
Benedict,
Australian?
Hero,
I can only
in
do
attendance.
I thought about doing it.
I'm done, you guys. My asthma is kicking in. You guys are making me laugh so much.
Guys, curtain.
Oh, that's 4. 4.
Curtain is up. Let's go.
Thank you, curtain.
They need a bell.
A
bell.
Leonardo, you're on.
Oh, you're not going to set the scene?
I already did.
Okay.
This just evolves.
Come, Friar Francis, be brief. Only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular duties afterwards.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady.
No.
To be married to her. Friar, you come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count.
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any count?
I dare make his answer none.
Oh, what men dare do, what men may do, what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
How now? Interjections? Why then some be of laughing as aha, he, ha ha ha.
Stand thee by, friar, father, by your leave. Will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her to me.
And what have I to give you back, whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
nothing unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonardo, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold, how like a maid she blushes here. Oh, what authority to show of truth can cunning skin cover itself withal? Come, I cannot see. Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all that you see her, that she were a maid, by those exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Dear my lord, if you, in your own proof, have vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity.
I know what you would say if I have known her. You will say she did embrace me as a husband, and so accentuate the forehead sin. No, Leonardo, I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
out on thee, seeming. I will write against it. You seem to me as Dane in her orb, as chaste as the bud ere it be blown. But you are more impertinent in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well, that he doth speak so wide?
Sweet prince, why not speak you?
Oh, what should I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True. Oh God!
Leonardo, stand I here. Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face heroes? Are our eyes our own?
All this is so, but what of this, my lord?
Let me but move one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do so, as thou art my child.
Oh God, defend me! How am I beset? What kind of chastising call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not Hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Marry, that can Hero. Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you yesternight out at your window betwixt 12 and 1? Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why then are you no maiden, Leonardo? I am sorry you must hear. Upon mine honor, myself, my brother, and this grieved count did see her, hear her at that hour last night. Talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confessed the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie, they are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. This is not chastity enough in language. Without offense to utter them, thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Oh, Hero, what a hero hast thou been, if thy outward graces has been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But pray, but fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Be well, thou pure impetus and impetus purity. For thee I'll lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang, and turn all beauty into thoughts of harm, and never shall it be more gracious.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
Hero swoons.
Why, how now, cousin? Wherefore sink you down?
Come, let us go. These things come thus to light. Smother her spirits up.
Don Pedro, Don John, and Claudio exit.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think. Help, uncle! Hero! Why, Hero, uncle! Signor Benedict, friar!
O fate, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for.
How now, cousin Hero?
And comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Yea, wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why, doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, Hero. Do not ope thine eyes. For did I think thou wouldst not quickly die, thought I thy spirits were stronger than thy shames, myself would on the rearward of reproaches strike at thy life. Grieved I had but one child I, for that at frugal nature's frame. Oh, one too much by thee. Why had I one? Why ever waste thou lovely in my eyes? Why had I not with charitable hand took up a beggar's issue at my gates, who smirched thus and mired with infamy? I might have said, no part of it is mine. The shame derives itself from unknown loins, but mine and mine I loved, and mine I praised, and mine that I was proud on, mine so much that I myself was to myself not mine, valuing of her. Why, oh, she has fallen into a pit of ink that the wide sea hath drops too few to wash her clean again, and salt too little which may season give to her foul tainted flesh.
Sir, be patient. For my part, I am so attired in wonder, I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not. Although until last night I have thus 12 months been her bedfellow.
Confirmed. Oh, that is stronger made, which was before barred up with ribs of iron. Would the two princes lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so, that speaking of her foulness washed it with tears? Hence from her, let her die.
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long and given way unto this course of fortune. By noting of the lady, I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions. To start into her face 1,000 innocent shames. An angel witness beat away those blushes. And in her eye there hath appeared a fire, to burn the errors that these princes hold. Against her maiden truth, call me a fool. Trust not my reading nor my observations, which with experimental seal doth warrant the tenor of my book. Trust not my age, my reverence calling, nor divinity. If this sweet lady lie not guiltless here, under some biting error.
Friar, it cannot be. Thou seest that all the grace that she hath left is that she will not add to her damnation a sin of perjury. She not denies it. Why seekst thou then to cover with excuse that which appears in proper nakedness?
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me. I know none. If I know more than any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. Oh, my father, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, and that I yesternight maintained the charge of words with any creature. Refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprision in the princess.
Two of them have the very bent of honor. And if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in John the Bastard, whose spirits toil in frames of villainies.
I know not. If they speak but truth of her, these hands shall tear her. If they wrung her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it. Time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, no age so eat up my invention, nor fortune made such havoc of my means, nor my bad reft me so much of friends, but they shall find, awaked in such a kind, both strength of mind and policy of limb, ability and means, and choice of friends, to quit me of them thoroughly.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, the princess left for dead, let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mourning ostentation, and on your family's old monument, hang mournful epitaphs, and do all rites that appertain unto a burial.
What shall become of this? What will this do?
Marry this well, carried shall on her behalf change slender to remorse. That is some good, but not For that dream I on this strange course, but on this travail look for greater birth. She dying as it must be maintained, upon the instant that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer, for it so fouls out that what we have we prize not to the worth, whilst we enjoy it, but being lacked and lost, why then we rack the value, then find the virtue that possession would not show us whiles it was ours. So will it fare with Claudio. When he shall hear she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination. And every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in more precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full of life, into the eye and prospect of his soul. Then, when she lived indeed, then shall he mourn. If ever love had interest in his liver, and wish he had not so accused her. No, though he thought his accusation true, let this be so, and doubt not, but success will fashion the event in better shape. Then I can lay it down in likelihood, but if all aim, but this be levelled false, the suspicion of the lady's death will quench the wonder of her infamy. And if it sort not well, you may conceal her, as best benefits her wounded reputation, in some reclusive religious life, out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injury.
Signor Leonardo, let the friar advise you. And though you know my inwardness and love is very much unto the prince and Claudio, yet by my honor I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
Is well consented. Presently, away, for the strange sores strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live this wedding gay, perhaps is but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Exit all but Benedict and Beatrice.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You will no reason, and I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
How much might the man deserve of me that might right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I know not. It was possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you. But believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear, and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest, I love thee.
Why then? Oh, God, forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you, and with no sense of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Ha! Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you, nay, I say, pray you let me go.
Beatrice!
In faith I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy.
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height of villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that were I man, would bear her in hand until they came to take hands, and then which public accusation, uncovered, slandered, unmitigated rancor, oh God, that were I a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out at a window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wrong. She is slandered. She is undone.
Beatrice.
Princes and counties, surely a princely testimony, a goodly account. Count Conflict, a sweet gallant, surely, oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend would be a man for my sake, but manhood is melted into courtesies, valor unto compliment, and man are only turned into tongue, and trimmed ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules, that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice. By this hand I love thee.
Use it for thy love. Other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Oh, yea, as sure as I had a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand, and so I leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go comfort your cousin. I must say, she is dead. And so, farewell.
Exit. Scene 2, a prison. Enter Dogberry, Burgess, and Sexton in gowns, and the watch with Conrad and Baraccio.
Is our whole assembly appeared?
Oh, a stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Merry that I am, and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that area to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Yea, Mary, let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Baraccio.
Pray, write down Baraccio. Yours, sirrah?
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yea, sir,
Yea,
we
sir,
hope.
we hope.
Write down that they hope to serve God. And write God first, for God defend, but God should go before such villains. Masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves. and it will go near to be thought so shortly. How answer you for yourselves?
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
Ah, a marvelous witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go about with him. Come you hither, sirrah, a word in your ear. I say to you, it is thought you are false knaves.
Sir, I say to you, we are none.
Well, stand aside. For God, they are both in a tale. Have you writ down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are the accusers.
Yea, Mary, that's the eftest way. Let the watch come forth. Masters, I charge you in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's brother, is a villain.
Write down, Prince John, a villain. Why, this is flat perjury to call a prince's brother a villain.
Master Constable.
Pray thee, fellow, peace. I do not like thy look, I promise thee.
What heard him say else?
Mary, that he had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
Flat burglary as ever was committed.
Yea, by mass, that it is.
What else, fellow?
That Count Claudio did me upon his words to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly, and not marry her.
Oh, villain! Thou wilt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonato's. I will go before and show him the examination.
They exit. Come, let them be opinioned.
Let them be in hands.
Off, coxcomb. Oh, wait, that was...
No, I agree. Off, coxcomb.
God's my life. Where's the sexton? Let him write down the prince's officer, coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet.
Wait, you are an ass. You are an ass.
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass. But masters, remember, I am an ass, though it be not written down. Yet forget not that I am an ass. Know thou, villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witnesses. I am a wise fellow, and what is more, an officer, and what is more, a householder, and what is more, a pretty piece of flesh, as any in Messina, and one that knows the laws. Oh, too, and a rich fellow enough, and a fellow that hath had losses, and one that hath 2 gowns, and everything handsome about him. Bring him away. Oh, that I be writ down an ass.
Exit. Explore Leonato's house. Enter Leonato Antonio.
If you go on thus, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which falls into mine ears as profitless as water in a sieve. Give not me counsel, nor let no comforter delight mine ear, but such a one whose wrongs do suit with mine. Bring me a father that so loved his child, whose joy of her is overwhelmed like mine, and bid him speak of patience. Measure his woe the length and breadth of mine, and let it answer every strain for strain, as thus for thus, and such a grief for such. In every lineament, branch, shape, and form, if such a one will smile and stroke his beard, bid sorrow wag, cry, him, when he should groan, patch grief with proverbs, make misfortune drunk with candle wasters, bring him yet to me, and I of him will gather patience. But there is no such man, for brother, men can counsel and speak comfort to that grief which they themselves not feel. But tasting it, their counsel turns to passion, which before would give perceptual medicine to rage, fetter strong madness in a silken thread, charm ache with air and agony with words. No, 'tis all men's office to speak patience to those that wring under the load of sorrow. But no man's virtue nor sufficiency to be so moral when he shall endure the like himself. Therefore, give me no counsel. My griefs cry louder than advertisement.
Therein do men from children nothing differ.
I pray thee, peace. I will be flesh and blood. For there was never yet philosopher that could endure the toothache patiently. However, they have writ the style of gods and made a push at chance and sufferance.
Yet bid not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There thou speakst reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know. So shall the prince, and all of them that thus dishonor her.
Here comes the prince and Claudio hastily.
Enter Don Pedro and Claudio.
Good den, good den.
Good day to both of you.
Hear you, my lords.
We have some haste, Leonato.
Some haste, my lord. Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself of quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Marry, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler, thou. Nay, never lie thy hand upon thy sword, I fear thee not.
Marry, beshrew my hand, if it should give your age such cause of fear. In faith, my hand meant nothing to my sword.
Tush, tush, man, never fleer and jest at me. I speak not like a dotard nor a fool, as under privilege of age to brag what I have done being young, or what would do were I not old. No, Claudio, to thy head. Thou hast so wronged my innocent child and me, that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and with gray hairs and bruise of many days do challenge thee to trial of a man. I say, thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander hath gone through and through her heart, and she lies buried with her ancestors. Oh, in a tomb where never scandal slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, I'll prove it on his body if he dare, despite his nice fence and active practice, his May of youth and bloom of lusthood.
Away, I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so daff me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou kill'st me, boy, thou shalt kill a man.
He shall kill two of us, and the men indeed, but there's no matter. Let him kill one first. Win me and wear me. Let him answer me. Come follow me, boy. Come, sir boy, come, follow me. Sir boy, I'll whip you from your foining fence. Nay, as I am gentleman, I will.
Brother.
Content yourself. God knows I loved my niece, and she is dead, slandered to death by villains. That dare as well answer a man indeed, as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops.
Brother Antony.
Hold your content. What man I know them ye, and what they weigh, even to the utmost scruple, scrambling out facing fashion mongling boys, that lying cog and flout deprave and slander, go and slay, show outward hideousness, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt our enemies if they're durst, and that is all.
But Brother Antony!
Come, 'tis no matter, do not you meddle, let me deal in this.
Gentlemen both, we will not wake your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord, my lord.
I will not hear you.
No? Come, brother, away. I will be heard.
And you shall, or some of us will smart for it.
See, here comes the man we went to seek.
Now, Signor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, Signor. You are almost come to part, almost a fray.
We had like to had our 2 noses snapped off with 2 old men without teeth.
Leonato and his brother, what thinkest thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We have been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain to have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee draw, as we do the minstrels, draw to pleasure us.
As I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or hungry?
What courage, man! What though care killed a cat? Thou hast metal enough in thee to kill care.
Sir, I shall meet your wit in the career, and you charge it against me. I pray you choose another subject.
Nay then, give him another staff. This last was broke cross.
By this light he changes more and more. I think he should be angry indeed.
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, and what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet you, and so I may have a good cheer.
What, a feast? A feast?
In faith I thank him, he hath bid me to a calf's head and a capon, the which if I do not carve most curiously, say my knife's not, shall I not find a woodcock too?
Sir, your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I'll tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said thou hast a fine wit. True, said she. A fine little one. No, said I, a great wit. Right, says she, a great gross one. Nay, says I, a good wit. Just, says she, it hurts nobody. Nay, said I, the gentleman is wise. Certain, said she, a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath the tongues. That I believe, said she, for he swore a thing to me on Monday night, which he forswore on Tuesday morning. There's a double tongue, there's two tongues. Thus did she an hour together shape thy particular virtues, yet at last she concluded with a sigh, thou wast the prosperous man in Italy.
For the which she wept heartily and said she cared not.
Yeah, I thought she did, but yet for all that, if and if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly. The old man's daughter told us all.
All, and moreover, God saw him when he was hid in the garden.
But when shall we set the savage bull horns on the sensible Benedict's head?
Yeah, and text underneath. Here dwells Benedict, the married man.
Fare you well, boy. You know my mind. I will leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jests as braggarts do their blades, which God be thanked hurt not. My lord, for your many courtesies I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your brother the bastard is fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady. For my lord lack a beard there. He and I shall meet. Until then, peace be with him.
Benedict exits.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest. And I'll warn you, for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee?
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is when he goes in his doublet and hose and leaves off his writ.
He's then a giant. He's then a giant to an ape. But then is an ape a doctor to such a man?
But soft you, let me be. Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled?
Enter Dogberry, Vergus, and the watch with Conrad and Baraccio. Come you, sir. If justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more treasons upon in her balance. Nay, and you be a cursing hypocrite, once you must be looked to.
How now? Two of my brother's men bound? Baraccio, one!
Hearken after their offense, my lord.
Officers, what offense have these men done?
Oh, marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondly, they are slanderers. Sixth and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what is their offense. Sixth and lastly, why are they committed? And to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned, and in his own division, and by my troth, there's one meaning well suited.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no farther to mine answer. Do you hear me, and let this count kill me? I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light. Who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John, your brother, incensed me to slander the lady Hero? How you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Margaret in Hero's garments? How you disgraced her when you should marry her? My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal with my death than repeat over to my shame. The lady is dead upon mine and my father and my master's false accusation. And briefly, I desire nothing but the reward of the villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison while he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee to this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed and framed of treachery, and fled he is upon this villainy.
Sweet hero! Now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved at first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our sexton hath reformed. Signor Leonato, of the matter and masters, do not forget to specify, when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass.
Here comes Master Signor Leonato, and the sexton too.
Re-enter Leonato and Antonio with the sexton.
You're muted.
Oh, sorry.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I note another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you would know your wronger, look on me.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath hath killed my innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my skin, yet upon my sin. Yet sinned I not, but in simply mistaking.
By my soul, nor I, and yet to satisfy this good old man, I would bend under any heavy weight that he'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people in Messina here how innocent she died. And if your love can labor aught in sad invention, hang her an epitaph upon her tomb and sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. Tomorrow morning come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter, almost the copy of my child that's dead, and she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the right you should have given her cousin, and so dies my revenge.
Oh, noble sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your offer and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
Tomorrow then I will expect your coming. Tonight I take my leave. This naughty man shall face to face be brought to Margaret, who I believe was packed in all this wrong, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul, she was not, nor knew what she did when she spoke to me, but always have been just and virtuous in anything that I do know by her.
Moreover, sir, which indeed is not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me an ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in punishment. And also, the watch heard them talk of one deformed. They say he wears a key in his ear and a lock hanging by it, and borrows money in God's name, the which he hath used so long and never paid. That now men grow hard-hearted and will lend nothing for God's sake. Pray you, examine him on that point.
I thank thee for thy care and honest pains.
Your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverend youth, and I praise God for you.
There's for thy pains.
God save the foundation.
So, I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart. And if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Exit Dogberry and Burgess.
Until tomorrow morning, lords. Farewell.
Farewell, my lords. We look for you tomorrow.
We will not fail!
Tonight I'll mourn with Hero.
Bring you these fellows on. We'll talk with Margaret. How her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
Exit.
They exit.
Severely.
Scene 2. Leonato's garden.
What are you
Sir
drinking?
Benedict and Margaret.
Pray thee, sweet Mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
In so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it. For in most comely truth, thou deservest it.
To have no man come over me. Why, shall I always keep below stairs?
Thy wit is as quick as thy greyhound's mouth. It catches.
And yours is as blunt as the fencer's foil, which hit but hurt not.
A most manly wit, Margaret. It will not hurt a woman, and so I pray thee, call Beatrice. I give thee the bucklers.
Give us the swords. We have bucklers of our own.
If you use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with the vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids.
Well, I will call Beatrice to you, who I think hath like.
And therefore will come.
Exit Margaret.
I'm not going to sing. The God of love that sits above and knows me, and knows me. How pitiful I deserve. I mean in singing, but in loving. Leander the good swimmer, Troilus the first employer of banders, and a whole book full of these quondam carpet mangers, whose names yet run smoothly in the even road of a blank verse. What they were never so truly turned over and over as my poor self in love. Mary, I cannot show it in rhyme. I have tried. I can find out no rhyme to lady but baby. An innocent rhyme for scorn, horn, a hard rhyme. For school fool, babbling rhyme, very ominous endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor I cannot woo in festival terms.
Enter Beatrice.
Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yes, senor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay, but till then.
Then it is spoken. Very well now, and yet ere I go, let me be with that I came, which is with knowing, and hath thou passed between you and Claudio?
Only foul words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Foul words is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome, and therefore I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast frightened the word out of his right sense, so forcibly is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. And I pray thee now, tell me for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For them altogether, while maintaining so politic a state of evil that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Oh, suffer love, a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think, alas, poor heart, if thou spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours. I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There's not one wise among 20 that will praise themselves.
an old instance, Beatrice, that lived in the lime of good neighbors. If a man do not erect in this age his own tomb ere he dies, he shall live no longer in monument than the bell rings and the widow weeps.
How long is that, do you think?
Question. Why an hour in clamor and a quarter in room? Therefore is it most expedient for the wise, if Don Worm, his conscience find no impediment to the contrary, to be the trumpet of his own virtues, as I am to myself. So much for praising myself, who I myself will bear witness is praiseworthy. And now, tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
How do you?
Very ill too.
Serve God, love me and mend. There will I leave you two, for here comes one in haste.
Enter Ursula.
Madam, you must come to your uncle. Yonder's old coil at home. It is proved my lady hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all, who is fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you go hear this news, Signor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes. And moreover, I will go with thee to thy uncle.
They exit. Scene 3, a church. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, and 3 or 4 with tapers.
Is this the monument of Leonardo?
It is, my lord.
Done to death. I have an actual scroll, but done to death by slanderous tongues was the hero that here lies. Death in guerdon of her wrongs gives her fame which never dies. So the life that died with shame lives in death with glorious fame. Hang thou there upon the tomb, praising her when I am dumb. Now, music, sound, and sing your solemn hymn. Oh, I'm not gonna. Oh God.
Do it. You got this.
All right.
Do it.
Pardon, goddess of the night, those that slew thy virgin night. For the witch with songs of woe, round about her tomb they go. Midnight, assist our moan, help us to sigh and groan. Heavily, heavily, graves yawn and yield your dead, till death be uttered. Heavily, heavily. Now, unto thy bones good night. Yearly I will do this right.
Good morrow, masters. Put your torches out. The wolves have prayed, and look the gentle day. Before the wheels of Phoebus round about dapples the drowsy east with spots of gray. Thanks to you all, and leave us. Fare you well.
Good morrow, masters, each his several way.
Come, let us hence and put on other weeds, and then to Leonato's we will go.
And Hymen now, with luckier issues, speeds than this for whom we rendered up this woe.
They exit. Scene 4, a room in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato, Antonio, Benedict, Beatrice, Margaret, Ursula, Friar Francis, and Hero.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
So are the prince and Claudio, who accused her upon it. But Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, as it appears, in the true course of all the question.
Well, I am glad that all things sort so well.
And so am I, being else by faith and force to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you gentlewomen all, withdraw into a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither masked. The prince and Claudio promised by this hour to visit me. You know your office, brother. You must be father to your brother's daughter and give her to young Claudio.
Which I will do with confirmed countenance.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
What, signor?
Well, to bind me or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonardo, truth it is, good signor. Your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I, my daughter, lent her. 'Tis most true.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
The sight whereof I think you had from me, from Claudio and the prince, but what's your will?
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical. But for my will is your goodwill. May I stand with ours this day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage, in which, good friar, I shall desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help? Here comes the prince and Claudio.
Enter Don Pedro and Claudio and 2 or 3 others.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, Prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter?
I'll hold my mind, were she an Ethiopian.
Call her forth, brother. Here's the friar ready.
Antonio exits.
Good morrow, Benedict. Why? What's the matter? That you have such a February face, so full of frost, of storm, of cloudiness.
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Tush, fear not, man. We'll rip thy horns with gold, and all of Europea did at lusty Jove, when he would play the noblest beast in love.
Bull Jove, sir, had an amiable low, and some such strange bull leaped your father's cow, and got a calf in for the same noble feat, much like to you, for you have just his bleat.
For this I owe you. Here comes other reckonings.
Antonio returns with the ladies masked.
Which is the lady
This
I must
same
see?
is she, and I do give you her.
Why, then she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
No, that you shall not till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband, if you like of me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero!
Nothing certainter. One hero died defiled, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero, the hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but whiles her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify. When after that the holy rites are ended, I'll tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seem familiar, and to the chapel let us presently.
Soft and fair, friar, which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do you not love me?
Why, no. No more than reason.
Why, then your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no. No more than reason.
Why, then my cousin Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
Well, they swore that you were almost sick for me.
They swore that you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter, then you do not love me?
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Now, come, cousin. I am sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her. For here's the paper written in his own hand, halting sonnet of his pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, writ in my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedict.
A miracle. Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I will not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in conception.
Peace. I will stop your mouth.
They kissed.
How dost thou, Benedict, the married man?
I'll tell thee what, Prince. A college of wit crackers cannot flout me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for a satire or an epigram? No. If a man will be beaten with brains, I shall wear nothing handsome about him. In brief, since I do propose to marry, I think nothing to any purpose than that the world can say against it, and therefore never flout at me for what I have said against it. For man is a giddy thing, and this is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee, but in that thou art like to be my kinsman. Live unbruised and love my cousin.
I had well hoped thou wouldst have denied, Beatrice, that I might have cudgelled thee out of thy single life to make thee a double dealer, which out of question thou wilt be, if my cousin do not look exceedingly narrowly to thee.
Come, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, that we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterward.
Well, first of my word, therefore, play music. Prince, thou art sad. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife. There is no staff more reverend than the one tipped with horn.
Enter a messenger. My lord, your brother John has taken flight and brought with armed men back to Messina.
Think not on him till tomorrow. I'll devise thee brave punishments for him. Strike up, pipers.
Dance, and they exit.
Yay!
Oh, wow.
Good times.
For those who joined us this evening,
Vincent, the singing.
going to now end the live stream as we cheer, and I'm sure that we as a cast will continue to talk and talk about perhaps another show.
Uh-huh.
Have a good night.
This was
Good night, everybody.
awesome.